Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are going to learn something super useful together, how to fill out an application form in English. Don't worry at all if this sounds tricky right now. It's actually really simple and we're going to go through it step by step. So let's just dive right in.
First things first, what exactly is an application form? And why do we even need one? Take a quick second to think about that.
Well, we use an application form when we want to try for something exciting, like a new job, a university scholarship, or a special program. Now, to be successful, the words you write must be professional. You need to be formal, clear, and totally honest. We never, ever use casual language here. And here's a big rule. No contractions. So when you write on the form, you spell out do not instead of writing don't.
Okay, so let's look at the four main parts of an application form.
Here is our roadmap for today. Part 1 is personal information, Part 2 is educational background, Part 3, activities, and Part 4, the declaration. Let's explore each one nice and slow.
All right, starting with Part 1. Imagine a student named Sarah Alami. This very first section is all about you, your personal information. This is where you write your full name, your date of birth, and how people can contact you, like your home address. Super easy, right?
Moving right along to Part 2, we have your educational background. Here is exactly what you write. You list your current school, which might be Ibn Sina High School. Then you put your grade, which is second back. Finally, you write down the main subjects you study, like English and math.
Now for Part 3, activities. Honestly, this is where you really get to shine. You should proudly list the sports you play, any volunteering you do, like helping out the Red Crescent, or school clubs you belong to, like the English Club. This shows them all the great things you do outside the classroom.
And just like that, we've reached Part 4, the declaration. This is basically just a formal promise. By signing your name and writing today's date, you are promising that every single thing you wrote on that paper is completely honest and true.
Excellent. Now that we know the structure, let's go over some key vocabulary words.
These are really common English words you're going to see on real forms, so knowing them will give you tons of confidence. You might even want to write these down. First up, full name. That's just your first and last name together. Then date of birth, simply the day you were born. Next is qualifications, which means your degrees or school certificates. Then we have references. These are people like teachers or managers who know you well and can recommend you. And finally, signature, which is your name written out by your own hand. Great job following along.
Okay, we are now ready for the most important part of this whole explainer. I like to call this the golden rule. So, what is the golden rule? It's simple. Fill in every single field. Seriously, never leave a box empty. If a question just doesn't apply to you, write the letters N/A. That stands for not applicable. It shows the person reading your form that you didn't just forget the question, it just doesn't apply to your life.
So the big takeaway here is to always be honest. Keep your answers nice and short, and use strong action words. I mean words like organized, led, or achieved. For example, instead of just saying, I was in the English club, you could say, I organized events for the English club. See the difference? It makes your activities sound absolutely fantastic.
And there we go. We've covered all the steps. Just remember to use formal language, fill out all four parts, and never leave a blank space. So what amazing opportunity are you going to apply for first? Now you can fill in an application form confidently in English. Great job.